This is Joe Wayne with InstinctForSurvival.com. And this is the reason, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, in my humble yet educated opinion, this is the reason why we entered into war, yes, a constant state of war, beginning on September 11, 2001, with the impetus of the World Trade Centers being bombed, or being attacked rather, by this ominous group we call the radical Islamists, that are undertaking yet another radical caliphate to cleanse the world of all of us infidels, yes? Well, not so quick. The main reason that we are in a constant state of war is not just simply to break the bodies and the spirit of the American people and the American warrior. That's just a nice little bonus for the New World/Old World Order that has been gripping the world in a sleeper hold to the state of complete unconsciousness, on the verge of a coma for 7,000 plus years. So, not the only reason. In my opinion, we have to look back to the document that the New World/Old World Order fears most. And that document, of course, is the U.S. Constitution, or as I refer to it, as the American Constitution, because I am not part of the United States Corporation. You may be, but I am not. So I will refer to this document as the American Constitution, because it was written about almost 100 years before the United States Corporation, which incorporated in the United States of America, the Republic of the United States of America, in 1871. So, yeah, not part of the United States Corporation. I am one of the 50 states that encompass the Republic of the United States of America. And this document that our forefathers, our founders, took the long view of history whenever they conceived and codified this document for not only the Republic of the United States of America, but for the benefit of the world. And this is why. The Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment of the American Constitution, rights of persons. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime, unless on a presentiment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Now, the latter part of this amendment, which, like most amendments, and the U.S. Constitution, the American Constitution, rather, are very, very short, folks. They're very, very short and concise because the only reason to have a document like the NDAA or Obamacare or any of the litany of acts, bills, or laws that read like novels. They should not read like a novel, and the only reason they read like a novel is to deceive, to confuse, to blind all of you that do not have the time to sit down and digest or even have the ability to understand the legalese in these novel-sized documents that are supposed to be law. In reality, the only place they are really law is in the confines of the New World/Old World compound called Washington, D.C. That's right. And again, if you watched any of my other videos, you do know that we are living in a wonderland of the New World/Old World order. And if people actually took the time to read and study historical documents like the Constitution, they would know that the federal government has no power outside of their commonwealth. Commonwealth, again, is a term that is used by the United Kingdom. Outside of their commonwealth of the District of Columbia, the Marianas Islands, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and other little embassies that the New World/Old World order owns. They do not own and they do not have any power over the 50 states. They only have power over the few compounds, the few commonwealths outlying the borders of the United States of America. So they're not actually within the borders because just like any embassy, that is sovereign land. Washington, D.C. is sovereign land to the New World/Old World order. So is Puerto Rico. So are the Marianas Islands, and so on and so forth. Anything that is a commonwealth is part of the United States Corporation, not the Republic of the United States of America. And the reason, folks, that we are in a constant state of war is specifically for the first part of this amendment, which is only a couple of sentences long. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a pre-sentiment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. So they use the first half of the Fifth Amendment to protect themselves from giving any of the whistleblowers their due process rights, their First Amendment rights, their Second Amendment rights. This is why we have been in a constant state of war, folks, since September 11, 2001. This is the main reason to shield themselves from having to guarantee any of their victims their due process rights, from guaranteeing any of their victims their First and Second Amendment rights, based simply on the first half of the Fifth Amendment, which says that you don't have to be indicted by a grand jury for them to lock you up during wartime. So people, wake the hell up, fresh roast you, and grind you and drink you some coffee, and wake the hell up. Wake the hell up. Don't let the New World/Old World order select among their beauty contestants. And right now they're getting ready to select Donald Trump, one of their top tier puppeteers, right? Just like George Soros, just like the Koch brothers. These are the corporate fascists that are the puppeteers of the New World/Old World Order. They are all Zionist. That is why they are running for the Republican and Democratic nomination. I mean, have you even heard yet of the Libertarian candidate, John McAfee? Well, I know you've heard of him because most of us use his virus software to protect their computers. A company that he has had nothing to do with for about 15 years, in his own words. Did you even know John McAfee was running for president? Of course you didn't. Because he's not one of their beauty contestants. He's not part of their group. He's not part of the establishment. Who are the establishment owned by? Of course, the Zionist Khazarians. In their agenda to basically force the entire world under their thumb by using the first half of the Fifth Amendment, which says no one can have their freedom of speech, no one can have their due process, no one can have any rights that have been codified within the Constitution during time of war. So either we need to amend the Constitution yet again to fix that little mistake and make sure that whether we're in wartime or not, that these criminals can be prosecuted for their crimes, that every one of the citizens of the Republic of the United States of America has their due process, has their First and Second Amendment rights, has their inherent human rights that have been codified by God, not man. And that's the whole problem, right? Because if our rights were codified and given by God, then man cannot take them away. And they are in process using the radical Islamic caliphate to destroy our belief in God, to destroy the Western Christian religion and our idea that rights were given to us by God. Because if they can destroy that idea within the Western soul, then they can take away literally every single other right that we think we have. But since we don't research, since we don't study and remember history, they are going to use that complacency, that laziness, to destroy us. So wake the hell up. Take charge of your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness. And either amend the Constitution or stop voting on their beauty contestants on the right and left. This is Joe Wayne with InstinctForSurvival.com. Please think about liking and subscribing to get all of the information that has been kept from you for so many years. If you folks didn't know, if you didn't realize, YouTube is quickly turning into the new mainstream media, folks. If you haven't paid attention, pay attention now to all of the channels like Newsmax.com and all the other channels that are having constant live streams. They are quickly turning into the mainstream media corporation. Once again, you need to think about what you're giving your attention to. You need to not let others do the research and thinking for you. You need to take the bull by the horns and research and think for yourself. This is Joe Wayne with InstinctForSurvival.com. Good day. attacked, rather, by this ominous group we call the radical Islamist, that are undertaking yet another radical caliphate to cleanse the world of all of us infidels, yes? Well, not so quick. The main reason This is Joe Wayne with InstinctForSurvival.com. And this is the reason, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, in my humble yet educated opinion, this is the reason why we entered into war, yes, a constant state of war, beginning on September 11, 2001, with the impetus of the World Trade Centers being bombed or